Okay, so today what I want to talk about is something that someone recommended to me actually in one of our polls, and that was what heroes work really, really good when you're talking about things like Guild War, 5-star heroes when you don't have enough E5 heroes to fully fill up your team. Man, that was a little tongue-tied. When you can't fully fill up your team with strong heroes on your account, what heroes are good ones to substitute in? So basically, we're going to go through each faction here. I'm going to tell you which ones I think are the best overall, but I want you guys in chat too to pitch in and let me know what you guys think. Number one out of the Shadow faction, like beyond a doubt, probably has to be Tix. And most of these heroes will perform better, in my opinion, if you put something like a magic source on them so they can get their active round one. Some of these don't require their actives to go off, but a lot of these really will shine better, mainly because of his active ability. It can surprisingly do quite a bit of damage because it's based on how much attack the enemy has. So 200% of the target's attack, it'll lower their attack. Plus, when he does die, he puts a little, pretty much like a dot on the enemy, where it'll continuously tick down. It'll do damage when that target dies. It'll explode like a bomb, so it's pretty good. Tix, very, very solid. Now, besides Tix in the Shadow faction, I don't think there are that many good 5-star heroes to throw in your lineup. If I had to say a second one, I would probably say Annabelle with an active ability too, mainly because she has her magic puppet spell. Now, this thing right here is going to make the enemy's active ability turn into a non-existent damaging ability that's going to instead heal your team. So whatever their active is, it turns it into, deals 1% of their attack damage to 3 enemies with the lowest HP, and then restores your allies HP equal to 300% of that attack. Or of attack, period. Annabelle can be very good, but I think she's more or less a magic source one. She also does have a reinforcement spell too, which is good when she does die. So both of these heroes are really good 5-star, like suicide heroes. Very, very good. Beyond that, in the Shadow faction, I don't think there are really any other great candidates. When you come over to the Fortress, though, there's quite a few. There's quite a few I want to talk about. One of them being the new Holmes Young. If he does have an active ability, he of course has a chance to CC heroes. Mainly you're looking for people who CC enemies or have some bonus effects. Now Holmes Young, you're probably not going to have many copies of, but if you do, level him up to 100, he'll be pretty good. Fiona I don't think is really great. Sherlock can be good. He can be, because again, he does have a pretty good chance to shapeshift enemies for 15 rounds, even as a 5-star. The only downside is his swap. It might work out okay. It might not. He's decent. He's not anything amazing. Penny's definitely not great. Valentino is one, if you level him up, can be solid. Why? Because of his overload ability. Even at 5-star, he will be, whenever an ally releases an active skill, we don't care about the damage he does. It has a 10% chance to stun a random enemy for 2 rounds. So even if he is the slowest on the battlefield, the slowest, he's going to be able to have a chance to stun enemies based on your other heroes using active. Now, if you're not running any energy or feeding or anything with Valentino on the lineup, chances are he will die before then, but this is a really, really good part of his skill set. Another one that can be okay but less reliable is Bleaker. So Bleaker, whenever he dies, he has a 20% chance to stun a backline enemy. 20% is pretty low, but it's decent. It's still something. The other one that can be okay too is like an Emily, but Emily has to drop below 50% HP and then not die in order to increase all allies' attack and reduces armor of an enemy. As a 5-star, that's probably never going to happen. She's probably going to just get one shot, but it's worth a shot. So Fortress, they have a lot of really good heroes that you can throw in, but they're mainly more for the CC side of things, not for like attribute reduction. His attribute, Annabelle's very good. His active has a chance to stun. Who's active? I mean, Valentino's too. Yeah, Valentino's active has a chance to stun as well. So does Bleaker. you're right, 25% chance there too. So again, all these heroes really good with energy if you have a ton of them. If you don't, they'll still get something done. Now Abyss kind of has some that are okay-ish. I would say out of all of them, they're not the best. The best one out of them is still an Ignis at 5-star, because when she does die, she's going to heal the ally for 30% of their max HP, which is crazy, crazy, crazy. What's up, Teddy? What's going on? And increases their allies' energy and control immunity. Her active, of course, is a very good damage reduction and energy feed and heal. Even as a 5-star, it's really not that bad. She's the best one out of all the 5-stars, I think, in the Abyss faction. Beyond that, though, Delacium can be okay, but it's really, he has to live through the end of the round to replicate one random dot or attribute reduction effect from one enemy to another. But again, it's not really that good. Besides him, I think the only other one really to mention is Cruz. So Cruz, if he manages to drop below 50% HP and not die, he does have a 25% chance to stun all the enemies. And of course, his active and his basics can do some reductions of effects. His basic hits the backline, can reduce their armor a little bit, whereas his active puts a mark and feeds energy to random allies. So he can be okay, but I feel like out of all the factions, Abyss is one of the weakest as far as 5-star heroes that you can slot into your Guild Wars lineup, or even like Interdimensional Arena or something like that. Now, Forest has a couple really good ones in my opinion. Now, overall, I would probably say one of the best ones is Olivia, mainly because of a couple different things here. So number one, her Fairy Guard. Putting the Fairy Guard on your allies is very good, because when the hero granted Fairy Guard is attacked by an active or basic skill, Fairy Guard will deal armor-enduring damage, we don't really care, to the attacker, and restore 50% of the attack to the HP. So the HP healing part is significant. The 5-star can put a nice aura on your main heroes to really give them some healing viability. She also has the ability to shrink enemies on her basic and her active, which is going to really, it's not as good as a 5-star. You're only receiving 15% more damage while reducing 20% that they deal. But I mean, reducing the enemy's damage by 20% is very, very significant. Very good hero overall, like very, very good. Probably one of the best in the Forest faction as 5-stars. Rogan, a very good one because of Warpath Roar, the beginning of round, or the beginning of battle and the beginning of every round's buffs he's given his team. Plus, even at the basic form of Bloodthirst, it is still a very good ability to give to your allies. They'll give them more healing, more damage, a ton of stuff. Those two are probably the best two. There are a couple others that you can use. Heartwatcher, I guess, for her weakening marks. You guys all know about the weakening mark. Gloria's effect is pretty solid too, because whenever an ally takes damage from a basic or active skill, inflicts magic bubble to 3 random enemies. This basically means there's a 25% chance to stun them for 2 rounds. That can be very good if she can live long enough. And then the other one I wanted to mention was, I guess, potentially Flora. Flora, of course, can reduce the attacker's all damage dealt. She can potentially twine them. It's not great. It's okay. Very similar to her, you also have a 5-star Oberon, where he throws out a ton of seeds and potentially has a chance to twine them. It can be solid. And then on the lower end of Forest, you have kind of the go-to we used to use for Sealand, and that is Rosa. When he's below 50% HP, all allies increase 8% of their damage reduction. His active ability has a chance to reduce their attack and increase your attack, and then also his basics have a chance to remove armor. Again, he's decent, but as a 5-star, I don't see him living that long. Now, Dark has a couple that are probably some of the best to have. Number one being Carrie. Yes, even as a 5-star, she will revive. Yes, even as a 5-star, her active ability can remove all energy from the enemy, which is just absolutely crazy bonkers. And yeah, if she dies fast, oh well. If she might come back in battle and do something later on. You don't know. Again, energy will be really good. Even her basic attack is going to decrease energy on them, which again is really, really good. The other really amazing one with energy or without is going to be Amon-Ra. She has that 1 layer of Guardian Shadow that's going to completely negate the next attack and turn 50% of it into healing. The other thing she has is her healing charm. Each basic attack she does will curse enemies 2 times. This is going to convert basically convert an entire heal into 50% damage to that target. So very, very good. Baby Amun-Ra's are solid. Beyond that, I really don't think any of the other ones are very notable per se. I guess you could do like a 4Cs to kind of remove attribute buffs from the enemies if they're running a lot of Rogans. And then we get the light faction. I mean, Michelle, she has a revive. Her active has a chance to stun. Man, the light faction kind of struggling with 5-star supporters, huh? Maybe Belrain for a little bit of healing, but like the light faction, yeah, we all know that. So those are a lot of really good 5-stars to slot into your Guild Wars lineups when you don't have enough heroes. You want to try to get them to level 100, make sure they have all their skills. Belrain, Ada, yeah, they're like okay-ish, but they're not as significant, I feel like, as a lot of the heroes we listed. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know if I missed any heroes or you guys use any in your Guild Wars lineup. And I'll see you guys next time.